What is something that nearly everyone uses incorrectly? Eyes. I don't know when or why this started, but I'm seeing this with increasing frequency. Mike and I's car instead of Mike's in my car. Using I instead of me. You won't believe what just happened to Mike and I instead of you won't believe what just happened to Mike and me. When in doubt, drop the other person's name to see which sounds right. And mixing pronouns I, she, he, we, they are object pronouns me, her, him, us, them are subject pronouns. You and it can be either. Theory. The word. The meaning of hypnosis has died. And I blame movies and television for shitty English majors who write it and either forget, never knew, or use the colloquial phrase on purpose. Also, ironic. It doesn't mean what everyone thinks. It's not hypocrisy or coincidence. Just stop. Please, for whatever God you worship's sake. This is how contronyms are born. Damn common usage. Rant over. People use the word reactionary improperly all the time. They will say reactionary to mean reacting impulsively without thinking things through, but that's not what it means. Reactionary refers to beliefs or views that are politically conservative, policies that are regressive, super old-fashioned, and opposed to progress or reform. Please stop saying that was a reactionary penalty. When they type out I don't give a damn, the correct spelling is I don't give a damn. Damn referring to a tinker's dam, a small, cheap rivet-like aluminum piece used to plug a hole in a cooking pan. It's likely that small bit of useless information will die out with us oldies because pots and pans are no longer thin and now thrown away long before a hole is worn into it. Begs the question does not mean raises the question. A quick read if you're interested how to use it correctly. Turn signals on cars. It should serve as a warning, not a courtesy, and the earlier it is turned on the better it serves. If it's used at all, it often seems used as a casual afterthought, immediately before or sometimes even during the actual turn doesn't best prepare other drivers affected by the change in direction. The correct orientation for a US 3-prong electrical outlet has the center prong on top. Check the patent, but thus far in my life, I've seen exactly one installed that way. We just like the little surprised face it makes when we install it wrong. Businesses using the phrase sneak peek instead of the correct phrase sneak peek. Unless, of course, your company specializes in building mountains in your neighbor's backyard in the dead of night so they wake up to a surprise in the morning. That is a sneak peek. Steak knife here in the US. I have yet to see a person that knows that you're supposed to stick a fork into the piece you're cutting off and not into the main part of the steak. Cut off a piece, then take a fork out of the steak just to stick it into the piece. Amount versus number. Amount of mashed potato. Number of potatoes. You versus yourself. Yourself is reflexive, meaning you do something to yourself. It's not a fancy way to say you, me versus I. Me and my friend went to the shop. It's like saying, me went to the shop. You'd be amazed at how many people can stand in line at a busy food truck for 10 minutes, arrive finally at the cashier, and only then examine the huge highly visible menu and begin to slowly consider what they might like to order. Those tree air fresheners. You're supposed to expose each section of the tree individually, while leaving the plastic on. After the scent fades, you pulled out the freshener to the next segment, and so on. Intrusive thoughts like no Bethany, dyeing your hair neon green at 2 a.m. isn't an intrusive thought. That's you trying to be quirky and using mental health terms incorrectly because you're insensitive as hell. I gotta answer my own question though. Trash bags. You're supposed to put them straight over the lip of the can and push the bag down into the center. I always flap them around and open them beforehand. The amount of people not putting earplugs correctly at festival or other loud event. You are supposed to put it inside your ear canal, not just resting in your ear like it's about to fall off. Short-lived rhymes with dived. If something has a short life, it is short-lived adjective noun. If it were pronounced as most people tend to, it would be shortly lived adverb verb. More Australian here, but us instead of me, get us a drink, use instead of you, chopper instead of helicopter, even serious news shows use it, and all the apostrophes of course. Can openers. Instead of holding it vertical to the top of the can and using it to pierce the can, turn it so the handle is horizontal and cleanly remove the top of the can. A lot of people misuse pronouns. For example, you love chocolate more than me means you love chocolate more than you love me, not you love chocolate more than I do. A plethora is meant to display an excessive amount of something, not just a generally large grouping of things. J.K. Rowling might be the biggest offender of this. The word forte. When pronounced forte, it is a music term meaning loud or soft. When someone is discussing something at which they excel, it is pronounced fort. Semicolons. They are used to join two sentences or thoughts. For example, I could have said, semicolons they are used to join two sentences or thoughts. People rarely use adverbs correctly. You know those words that end in "ly" that modify verbs. People might say he ran quick, rather than he ran quickly. The horn in your car. It's legally where I'm from only supposed to be used to alert of hazards. Not for rage. Calm down, we all make mistakes. Toothpaste. You aren't supposed to rinse after you brush. If you rinse, you wash off the layer of protection you just put onto your teeth. 5-star rating systems. 3 stars should be average and good, but everyone uses 5 stars or 1 star and very few people rank with subtlety. Nearly everyone uses their smartphones incorrectly by not talking to it like it's a magical genie that should do their bidding. Past, present and future tenses. Also adding "ad" into sentences. We went to the library, not we had went to the library. Way too many people nowadays say could've instead of could've. How did this become so common? I cringe every single time. Opening a banana not trying the end that isn't the stem. It'll split ready in two naturally as well if I remember correctly. Chinese food boxes 2C616P1. Per se, what would that even mean? It's per se. Tim Berners-Lee invented the internet for the exchange of information. People use it to exchange misinformation. Loop. You are supposed to put it on the doorknob of your bedroom so the kids can't come in when you are screwing. The 3 seashells. Most of these people out there still using paper cause no one taught them the 3 seashells on accident. No, it's on purpose. BCZ. Therese intention involved by accident. BCZ. It's an unintentional act. The toilet paper dispenser. Only knuckle-dragging Neanderthals have the toilet paper going backwards. Antisocial. The correct term is asocial. Antisocial is when you have borderline homicidal tendencies, using between instead of among when there are more than 2 items. Like choosing between 3 people. Factoid. People seem to use it to mean a small fact, but it means something that isn't true. The word underrated to say that how a small-scale singer band actor is not recognized enough. Getting on a train or in an elevator. You let the people on board exit first before you enter. I have been noticing a lot of people using yay or nay and not aware they're misspelling it. For all intents and purposes. The correct expression is, for all intents and purposes. Can openers. Instead of making a hole in the can, you cut the lid right off. Much easier. Colanders. Put the colander in the pan and pour it to drain. Don't pour into the colander. Money. Of course I need to save money, but my iPhone 14 suddenly stopped working. Q-tips. You're really not supposed to stick them in your ears, but everyone does it. The pronoun I, and phrases like to you and I. It should be to you and me. Neck pillows for travel. Opening goes in the back. Keeps the neck secure. The toilet. Specifically in airports. Whatever you do, aim for the water. The drawer below the oven is a warming tray, not a drawer for you pans. The term narcissistic for people who are confident in their looks. Merge lanes. It should be like a "it's always an issue" language. Some of you have never read a thesaurus, and it shows. Can opener. Blade cuts parallel to the top, not perpendicular. Maybe I wasn't prepared for ties. Commas. I feel like, people don't really know how to use them. Using the word loose when they want to imply a defeat or loss. The word theory. It is not synonymous with hypothesis. Something may be your forte but it's pronounced fort. Their sex organs when they're teenagers, young adults. I could care less. It's I couldn't care less. Often wasted on trivial tasks instead of priorities.